Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, Ali. And today we would like to decipher and decipher why you should have your own LLC, or basically nothing in your name. It sounds counterintuitive, not having something in your name, because, you know, most people think like, oh, I want stuff in my name, you know what I mean? I want to have whatever. But actually, in a capitalistic system that incorporates socialism and communism, you have to be shrewd in your tactics financially. Short version, it's better to have your house in the name of your LLC or your non-profit, your car, everything basically. I mean, you know, your checking account, your savings account, I mean, whatever you're doing, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever, you can get all that stuff with a buffer. And I mean, a buffer is like your protection from seizure of your assets, if you will. And I mean, you know, it's like a lot of people worry about things that's really not important. You know what I mean? You know, and they don't realize the benefits that they can get from certain things, such as if you have an LLC, taxes are due in 2022, normally on April the 15th. This year is April the 18th. However, you can write off things. I mean, like say you bought a laptop, say you bought a desktop, say you had put gas in a car. Now, I mean, the IRS has set a premium price each year for how much you can deduct from that gas, or you can save your gas receipts. Now, I mean, if you gave money to your nieces and nephews and cousins and sons and daughters, whatever. Now, I mean, if you had to use an FOI uniform, it's tax deductible. If you had an MGT uniform, that uniform is tax deductible. There are literally thousands of FOIs with beautiful FOI uniforms, beautiful MGT uniforms. How many of them get the tax deduction off that uniform? Less than 1,000th of 1%. I mean, selling Final Calls, selling Muhammad Speaks, publishing Message to the Black Man, The Fall of America, publishing the Honorable Minister Farrakhan's tapes, publishing the Honorable Salis Muhammad's tapes, publishing the Honorable Minister Mutukwan tapes, your books, your stuff. I mean, it's free. I mean, a book publisher would do that, newspapers would print that stuff up. The machine might cost $80,000. The machine might cost $300,000. The machine might cost $3 million. The factory will ship it to you, and you give them a written acknowledgement, and the IRS will give them $3 million. You don't give them a penny. I mean, you know, it's like you don't give them, you give them nothing. I mean, you know, my wife knows, she like, I'll be like, I ain't paid taxes in over 50, almost 60 years now, 57 years. Uncle Sam Nathan, oh me, where's my reparations? I mean, so you got to understand how to move in the 10% system. I mean, you don't want to move illegally. I know, I mean, I used to do the crap, and I mean, you know, that get you caught up in the street life and all the dumb stuff. Too old for that. Too old to be throwing rocks at the penitentiary. But if you think and move smarter instead of working harder, you can do things legally. There's more money in the legal world, in the corporate world, than it is in the street. Your bean pies are tax deductible. The supermarket, they give you not 100 pounds of beans, they'll give you 10,000 bags of beans. The farmer will give you a portion of his crops. Now, I mean, the farmer will give you the land. I mean, you don't have to pay for farm. They'll give you farmland. It's tax deductible. Why is it beneficial to them? You could go on Zillow, you could go on Redfin and see a house sold by owner. You know what I mean? And they be like, listen, I don't want you to do anything different. Go ahead and do your thing. But if you don't sell that house in 3 months or whatever, what we could do is this. Holler at me. You know what I mean? And I'll take and send you the IRS form 8283, and you don't give me the house until after you get the appraisal value of that house from the IRS. If the IRS look at it and say, okay, well, the appraiser said this house is worth $280,000. After you get $280,000, sign that house over to the Catholic Church. That's what they do. Sign that church over to Rabbi so-and-so to the synagogue. That's what the Jews do. Sign that property over to this super church. That's what the preachers do. Why not be like, yo, sign that over to the Honorable Minister of Farrakhan, Salas Muhammad. Minister Butakwan need that. He deserved to have temples all over Philly. Know what I mean? That brother is a hard-working grinder. He's deserved to have free electricity and heat and air conditioning. Donate them chairs in there. Know what I mean? Raymar Flanagan, y'all got all that furniture in the basement from 3 years ago that y'all can't sell. Donate your surplus inventory to Muhammad's temple. This is how it go. Now, I'm trying to put y'all down with the game, and you gotta understand, when I put y'all down with it, the devil gonna be the devil. Y'all looking at it like, oh, the devil hating, then you should love me. The devil saying he's lying, you know I'm telling the truth. The devil on his behind, you know I'm doing the program. Know what I mean? It's when they don't care and ain't worried about you that you should be like, they ain't about that. Know what I mean? But our thing is, we followers of the Most High Elijah Muhammad, we be like, we want to be Christ-like. Nah, you have to pick up your cross and follow Christ. You got to be crucified. You got to be willing to go through some things. I mean, you got to be willing to suffer the slings and arrows and, the barbs and all that. That's all in it. You're going to get your stripes. Your freedom ain't free. The struggle continues. But if you have the faith, which is nothing but the obedience to a law of God who came in person, Master Muhammad, make things happen. Know what I mean? You be like, you're not leasing your car, you're driving in your car. Know what I mean? You're in a beautiful home with bathrooms with an S on it. Know what I mean? The yard so big, deers be over there, the groundhogs over there eating. Know what I mean? You be like, how this joker doing that? It ain't no mystery, God. The messenger asked us in Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, will you sit up at home and wait for that mystery God to bring you food? Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Ali.